What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Birdie Me, the podcast, powered by Backswing Golf Events, where we have the privilege to talk to over 250 women professional golfers who are now traveling the country running 2,500 charity events, raising millions of dollars for these charities in the process. My name is Nick Johnson, and thank you guys for tuning in. This was what I'm going to call the Shotgun Podcast. We were running around having our own lives, and it was very, very hectic this week. All of us were traveling at the same time for some reason, but we were lucky enough to have Rachel Jones on the episode. She was traveling too, which made it even more difficult, but we were able to put something together. She was in the airport. I was driving back from Houston. So, nevertheless, it was a really fun interview. Rachel was awesome, and we implemented something new, which was really a lot of fun. We have this new, what I'm calling the shotgun spinner, where we basically put a bunch of topics, and wherever the arrow points, that's what we talk about. So, kind of fun, something we could do quickly, and we had a lot of fun doing it. So, let's get on to the rest of the episode.
Welcome to Birdie Me, the podcast. Powered by Backswing Golf Events.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Birdie Me, the podcast. Today we have a special guest, and I am rolling solo. Anthony is gone, Mackenzie's on another trip, but we're going to power through it. Rachel Jones, thank you so much for joining us this week. I know you and I both had some crazy traveling today. So what's going on?
Hey, thank you for having me. Yes, very interesting day, to say the least. But we made it. It's all good.
We made it. Where you're going to an event in Iowa right now, right?
Yeah. I was originally going to go through Atlanta. Now I'm going through Detroit, and then I should get to Iowa around 8:50 or 7. So
Okay,
I
so
had to
you're
leave from Orlando though, which is not my normal airport, and a lot went wrong. So yeah. So, anyways, we made it. We made it.
we made it. Do we want to talk about some of the
We
things that went
can. I
wrong?
mean, it might be kind of funny. So it all started. So I had plenty of time. I mean, I was here at least an hour and a half early, all the stuff. Well, it started because I was driving up. I was going to go to my Terminal B because I was flying Delta. They said A and B terminal that are together, the parking decks for those are closed. Not even full, but they're closed. So the guy that checked me in was like, "Oh, go to the 10th floor. Go to the 10th floor. It's so fine." And I was like, "Well, I can't even get in. It's closed." So I go all the way to A, park to A, where there's a huge long train that goes to C. So I finally made it. Then I realized that for some reason my ticket didn't show TSA. So I'm like, great. So now I can't go the short line. So then I tried to get the stupid little what's it called? The other, not cloud, but clear. So I got in line. He was
Yeah,
super nice. And I was like, all right, I'll get clear, whatever. 15-day trial, 14-day trial, do it. So he got me started. He was so pumped. He thought he got me. And then we wrote everything in, my email, my name, all this stuff, my IDs. Well, he said, sorry, it's not, it said you don't have an account. So I was like, well, duh, I don't have an account. So I had to get in a different line. He's like, oh, just get back in that line. Now you got to go the normal line. So then I got in that line. These guys were like, oh, you're good. You can go ahead of us. We know you got a thing, not very long. So I go over there. Then my raffle tickets for my event tomorrow. Girls out there, don't forget to put them in your check golf bag because I had this problem one other time and I forgot they were in my book bag, but they were in there and it got flagged. So my book bag got sent away in security. They checked it. But it took 10 to 15 minutes for them to even check the thing because there's like 5 people that had to be checked. So that's another 10 minutes down the drain. So then they're like, wow, you really are cutting it close. I'm like, yeah. So let's go. It was just bad. So then I looked at my phone. I was like, there's literally no shot. And then I was like, well, how far is my gate? And he's like, oh, we got to take another train. I'm like, are you serious? I've already taken like 2 trains. And so I was like, whatever. I'm calling Andy. He's our travel agent. I was like, he's like emergency contact. I said, Andy, I need some help. He was like, well, I don't know if you can change it 10 minutes or 20 minutes before your flight leaves. I was like, well, I have before. It was a Southwest, but you can basically change it all the way up to the departure exact time. So I changed it and it worked. few times later. Like it worked, and there was like 3 different flights afterwards. So this one's like 2 hours later than I was supposed to leave. Whatever, and it wasn't like much more. And originally I was leaving from PBI, and then I had to do Orlando because I have an event in Orlando the day after the Iowa event in 2 days. So this one was cheaper anyways than the original flight, so it's all the same. Now it's like this was a little more, that was a little less, but they're all the same. So it all worked out. I called Andy back. I was
Yeah.
like, y'all, my clubs and my other bag. I think if you have a credit card with Delta, you get one free bag. So they gate checked my other one for free. Gates, kind of like from security. And so basically, my bags will get there early. So I was like, well, do I need to call the airport baggage claim in Des Moines, Iowa? And they're like, no, it should be safe in the little door, the little cabin they keep them in. So like, okay, I'm not gonna worry about it then. Whatever. So here we are. And then okay, this is the part that I added the last 15 minutes. So we originally were gonna do this 15 minutes prior to right now. Well, I went to get food. I opened my computer up. I was talking to the guy beside me. He was like, yeah, show me that. So I opened the computer up while I was trying to, realized my computer's not in my book bag. So I was like, okay, good. Because I remember she had to like flag my computer when it went through and it had to get flagged because my stupid, you know, raffle ticket. She didn't put it back in. So I was like, what? Who doesn't put everything back in? They're like, oh, we don't do that. So I had to go back. I had to go in the plane, the little airplane tram back to I left my stuff sitting there. I was like, y'all, can you watch this? The stuff that's not like important. I left all my stuff there. I was like, I'll be right back. Within 10 minutes, I got back. But I had to go through and I was like, I just left that. They took my computer. Like, is there any way I can just go? And they're like, no, you're going to have to go back to security. So I did. Well, realized that my old ticket was not the same ticket, and my new ticket on my app wasn't working. It wasn't checking in. So I had to go do it the original way. So there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Second time ticketing. So I ticketed on the little kiosk, and then I went back, not TSA, normal. And she's like, oh, you don't have to do that. So I went back to her, and she said, all right, you can come through. So went through security, though, again. And I said, y'all, my computer, they said it had this little white little kiosk thing. And they looked at me like, who are you? I'm like, it's my computer and it's like this big and I know what it looks like. They're like, oh, you need to sign in. Well, my picture's on it. And I signed in. So I got my computer. And then I ran back to the stupid tram. And then the people that were sitting beside me like waited like 2 extra minutes for me to get back. But I made it. And then like I just hopped on this 5 minutes later with you because I realized, oh, it's almost 3:15 my time, 2:15 your time. So that's my little story of the day. It was
Well,
a
well,
fiasco.
well. We appreciate you squeezing us in.
Of course. It's done.
I don't envy you any. I mean, you went through security like 3 or 4 times. You're a pro. You're a full sanction pro
I'm
at this
like,
point.
why is my
Um,
TSA not on this thing? And that was a long line for TSA. And then I told my friends, and
yeah,
they're like, oh, by the way, Orlando like has these they got these tickets back for Disney World, and like that's why it's so packed. All these families are everywhere. It's just
makes sense. Well,
yes.
I will say I use Clear whenever I travel,
I
and that
tried.
thing saves me. It
Really,
saves
I might
me
just get
more
that.
often than not.
I might have to get that.
Um, but it's not at every airport,
Oh,
so
really? Most of
it's
them.
at most of them.
Yeah.
But the one I have here in Austin, it gets me through like basically last time I traveled, there was a line that probably would have taken 30 minutes. I went
Yeah.
straight to the front.
That's awesome.
So
TSA was that pretty
if
long too? Because it's growing.
I don't have TSA pre-check, so I I th- I heard that it has been getting worse, but Clear is separate. So
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I just
It's
don't
been good
understand
for
why
me so
Austin doesn't
far.
have two airports with that population. That that amazes me. They don't have a north and a south.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Well, I'm thankful either way.
There you go. You love
um,
it. You love it.
so this is going to be our first, what I'm going to call shotgun podcast. You and I are both on weird travel schedules today,
What did you
and we're
do?
trying to. I just got back from Houston,
Oh
like
wow.
literally an hour, less than an hour ago.
Okay.
So it was like a 2.5 hour drive. So it's not too bad,
Yeah.
but I'm still nursing like a hangover from 2 days ago.
Right.
So
Does not sound
that's
fun.
cheers. That's why we're both
No.
drinking right now.
Big box. Yeah. Very after that.
No, I went out Tuesday night and might have had a couple too many old fashions, and
Oh
then
boy, those are
and then
good.
we went to the Astros game
Oh,
on was that yesterday? Yeah, yesterday.
yeah.
Astros lost, unfortunate. Well, I'm not
Who
really
did
an
they play?
Astros fan. The Giants.
Okay.
So I'm clearly a San Diego Padres fan. That's where I'm from
Oh,
originally.
sure. Nice.
Um, and it kind of went well with the sweater, so I was like, that'll work.
Hey, I'm jealous you
But
have that. I never got that, and I think it was like limited edition
y-
or something.
yeah, I had to. I'm usually a medium and went for a large just because I couldn't get my size.
Yeah.
So luckily, you can't see anything from the waist down. But yeah, we're gonna try out this new. I'm gonna call it the shotgun wheel since we're on the shotgun
Cool.
vibes right now. And we'll kind of just go into it. So, how long, just before I keep wanting to say spin the wheel of death, but it's not the wheel of death.
Yeah.
So how long have you been with backswing? Like, give me a little bit of backstory there.
I guess like hmm, at this point, I started November of 2021, I think. Yeah, and all of 2022. This is 23. I don't know what that, something like that. It could have been November of 20. Yeah, it was 21. 21. Yeah, been good.
Okay, so a couple years, yeah.
And I didn't play a
How
full
many?
tour schedule last year, so I was able to get a lot of events in. Our busy season is May. There's literally so many we have in May and June. It's crazy. Good crazy, but I feel like I'm leaving. I have Iowa tomorrow morning. I fly out again that night, tomorrow night, back to here, this awful airport, and then I'm staying here that tomorrow night, and then I have a celebrity event that we're doing with backswing. It's just yeah, I don't have anybody doing it with me. I'll say yeah, it's just me. That's 2 days, and then I'm staying again here, and then I fly out to North Carolina for an event with 5 other girls, and I'm going to do the roaming pro. So you just like roam around the course and play and hit different shots with people, and network, whatever.
Very cool.
Hang out, talk. So I'm gonna do that one, and then I'm staying 2 nights. See my family, and do like a early Mother's Day thing with my mom and grandparents and stuff. And then, um, yeah, and then I'll come back Thursday night next week, and then have one the next day in Florida with Michaela, who y'all saw last year. She's one of my good friends. We practice the same course actually, Lost City. So we'll do that
Mhm.
one together on the 12th, and then I have one the 19th. So I have a little bit of break, luckily, and for next week. So I'll be gone for a full week. I was gone for a full week last week as well, but I have 4 days in between.
Very cool.
So you're just
All right.
everywhere, and it's just like one, they're only 1 day events, so you're in a lot of different cities. I'm very thankful and grateful too that I'm the way I am because I love excitement, which today was. I get bored easily, so it's kind of nice to be everywhere in the sun and travel and get to meet people and see the world. I've never been to Iowa actually. After all the golf I played, I've never been to Iowa, so I'm interested to see all the corn, I guess.
Nice. Is it Des Moines, Iowa?
Yeah, I hope it's not cold. I didn't even look there. Well, I looked 2 days ago. It was like 66 tomorrow, 50% chance of
Okay.
rain, so hopefully the rain was off for us.
Yeah.
Maybe just in the
All
morning.
right. Well, let's get into this wheel of death that I
Yeah,
should rename the shotgun wheel. And
I got it.
it basically, for the listeners out there that aren't watching the video, I have a bunch of different topics, and I'll just spin the wheel and see what it pops on, and we'll kind of see what
Okay,
happens.
cool.
All right. Ooh, kind of landed on oops. So, oops is like, what is the most embarrassing moment on a golf course that you can remember?
Oh, let me think about this.